Let them miss you. I think there comes a time in every person's journey when you must step back, not in retreat, not in fear, but in divine alignment with your worth. There comes a moment when you realize that your presence is a gift, not a guarantee, that your energy is sacred, not something to be taken for granted. And in that moment, you must make a choice. Will you continue to pour yourself into spaces that do not honor you? Will you keep showing up where you are not celebrated? Or will you have the courage to say, no more? If you do not see my value, then I will remove myself until you do. Let me tell you something profound. Let them miss you. Because absence has a way of teaching people what they failed to learn in your presence. Distance has a way of clarifying what was once blurred by familiarity. When you are always there, always available, always giving, people forget what life is like without you. They forget the light you bring, the wisdom you carry, the love you pour into every room. But when you step away, when you reclaim your time, your energy, your power, something miraculous happens. They remember. I want you to think about the times you've stayed too long in situations that no longer served you. The friendships where you were the only one reaching out. The relationships where you were the only one fighting. The workplaces where you were the only one going above and beyond, yet never truly seen. What did staying in those spaces cost you? Your peace, your joy, your sense of self? Here's the truth. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. When you allow yourself to be taken for granted, you silently give permission for it to continue. But when you decide that you deserve more, when you refuse to settle for crumbs, when you are a full course meal, you shift the entire dynamic. Walking away is not weakness. It is strength. It is not surrender. It is strategy. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is remove yourself and let the silence speak for you. Have you ever noticed how we only truly appreciate certain things once they're gone? The warmth of the sun after days of rain, the comfort of home after a long journey, the sound of a loved one's voice after time apart. The same is true for relationships, for love, for respect. People do not always recognize what they have until it is no longer readily available to them. This is not about playing game. This is about understanding human nature. When you are always there, always giving, always accommodating, people begin to expect it rather than appreciate it. But when you pull back, when you redirect your energy toward yourself and your purpose, you create space for them to feel your absence. And in that space, they are forced to confront what you truly mean to them. Some will rise to the occasion. They will reach out. They will reflect. They will realize what they've been taking for granted. And those are the ones worth keeping. But others will let you go without a second thought. And that, my friends, is also a gift, because it means they were never truly meant to occupy the sacred space of your life. Letting people miss you is not about manipulation. It is about self-respect. It is about recognizing that you are not an option, you are a priority. And if others do not see that, then they do not deserve access to you. You must know your worth so deeply that when people treat you as less, their behavior becomes unacceptable to you. Not because you are prideful, but because you understand the divine value placed on your life. You were not created to beg for love, for respect, for recognition. You were created to walk in the fullness of who you are and to allow only those who honor that truth to walk beside you. So how do you do it? So how do you let them miss you? You start by filling your own cup. You pour into yourself, your dreams, your healing, your joy, You stop waiting for others to validate you and begin validating yourself. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable and start standing tall in your truth. And then you step back, you stop chasing, you stop over-explaining, you stop bending over backward for those who wouldn't even bend sideways for you. You release the need to prove your worth because deep down you already know it. And here's what happens when you do. The right people will notice. The right people will fight for you. The right people will realize that your absence has left a void they cannot ignore. And those who don't, they were never yours to begin with. This is the power of let them miss you. It is not about punishment. It is about elevation. It is about refusing to settle for less than you deserve. It is about trusting that if it's meant to be, space will not break it. It will reveal its strength. So today I challenge you, stop begging for a seat at tables where you are not honored. Stop dimming your light so others can shine. Stop giving your all to those who only give you crumbs in return. Walk away. Let them feel what it's like without you. And watch how the universe responds, because when you know your worth, you don't have to convince others of it. You simply live in it unapologetically. And those who are meant to be in your life, oh, they'll find their way back. But this time they'll know exactly what you're worth. And so will you. There comes a time in every person's journey when you must step back, not in retreat, not in fear, but in divine alignment with your worth. This moment arrives quietly, often after years of giving, of compromising, of making yourself smaller to fit into spaces that were never designed to hold the fullness of who you are. It comes when you finally realize that your presence is not an obligation to be fulfilled, but a gift to be cherished. That your energy is not an infinite resource to be drained, but a sacred flame to be protected. And in that moment of awakening, you face the most important decision of your life. Will you continue to pour from an empty cup? Or will you have the courage to say, let me tell you something that will change everything for you. Let them miss you, not as punishment, not as manipulation, but as the highest form of self-love. Because here's the profound truth that will set you free. People only value what they have to reach for. They only appreciate what they risk losing. Your constant presence, your endless availability, your perpetual giving. These things don't make people cherish you more. They make people forget your worth. But when you step away, when you reclaim your power, that's when miracles happen. I want you to understand this deeply. Absence is the greatest teacher. It's in the space you create when you walk away that people finally see what was always there. The love they took for granted, the light they became accustomed to, the wisdom they stopped listening to. It's only when you're gone that they remember how much richer their life was with you in it. This isn't just about relationships. It's about every area of your life where you've been undervalued, overlooked, or taken for granted. Your career, your friendships, your family, your dreams. Let me share with you the 3 most powerful lessons about letting people miss you. First, your absence speaks louder than your presence ever could. When you're always there, always available, always giving, people stop hearing you. Your words become background noise. Your efforts become expected. Your love becomes ordinary. But when you remove yourself, suddenly the silence echoes with your worth. Suddenly they're listening for the sound of your voice that they used to ignore. Suddenly they're noticing the empty space where your light used to shine. Second, distance reveals truth. You'll discover who truly values you when you're not constantly making yourself available. The people who reach out, those are your people. The ones who don't, they were never yours to begin with. This revelation is painful but necessary because you deserve relationships where you're chosen, not tolerated. where you're celebrated, not just present, where you're valued, not just convenient. Third, letting people miss you isn't about them. It's about you. It's about reclaiming your power. It's about remembering that you are complete all by yourself. That your worth isn't determined by who chases you or who doesn't. It's your value exists whether anyone recognizes it or not. This is the foundation of true confidence, knowing that you are enough, exactly as you are, whether anyone else sees it or not. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but what if they don't miss me? What if they don't come back? My dear friend, that's the most important question of all, because here's the life-changing truth. If they don't miss you, they were never meant to be in your life to begin with. Their absence is the gift that makes room for what's truly meant for you. The right people will always find their way back. The wrong ones will show you exactly why they needed to go. This is where your transformation begins. This is where you stop begging for scraps and start feasting at the table of your own self-worth. Because you, yes, you are a banquet. You are not an option. You are not a backup plan. You are not someone's just in case. You are the main event. You are the dream come true. You are the answered prayer. And anyone who doesn't see that, that's their loss, not yours. Or how do you do this? How do you let people miss you in a way that honors your worth? Let me guide you. Stop explaining yourself to people who've proven they don't deserve an explanation. Your worth isn't up for debate. Your value isn't a negotiation. Either they see it or they don't. Either they honor it or they lose it. It's that simple. Fill your own cup first. Stop waiting for others to validate you and start validating yourself. Stop seeking external approval and start approving of yourself. The most attractive quality in the world is someone who knows their worth and isn't afraid to honor it. Every minute you spend chasing someone who doesn't value you is a minute stolen from your destiny. Take that energy and pour it into your purpose, into your growth, into becoming so aligned with your highest self that the right people can't help but be drawn to you. Trust the process. The universe always makes space for what's meant for you. If something walks away and doesn't come back, it was never yours. If it comes back, it was always meant to be. Either way, you win. I want you to imagine something powerful. Imagine your life a year from now. Imagine looking back at this moment as the turning point. The moment you stopped settling. The moment you stopped begging. The moment you stood up and declared, I am worth missing. Because here's what I know for sure. When you start treating yourself like the prize, the world will start treating you that way too. This isn't about playing hard to get. This is about being hard to forget. There's a difference. One is a game, the other is a lifestyle. One is manipulation, the other is self-respect. You're not trying to make people want you. You're becoming someone who's impossible to take for granted. Let me tell you what happens when you embrace this way of being. You become magnetic. Not because you're chasing attention, but because you're radiating self-worth. You become peaceful. Not because everything is perfect, but because you're no longer dependent on others for your happiness. You become powerful, not over others, but over your own life. This is the secret that changes everything. So today, right now, I want you to make a decision. Decide that you're done with half-hearted love. Decide that you're done with one-sided relationships. Decide that you're done with being an option when you deserve to be a priority. Then do the bravest thing you'll ever do. Walk away. Not in anger, not in spite, but in love. Love for yourself. Love for your future. Love for the divine being you were created to be. Because here's the miracle waiting for you on the other side of this decision. When you let people miss you, you give them the opportunity to rise to your worth. Some will, some won't. But those who do, they'll come back different. They'll come back clearer. They'll come back ready to love you the way you've always deserved to be loved. And those who don't, they'll have given you the greatest gift of all, this space for what's truly meant for you. This is your moment. This is your awakening. This is your invitation to step into the life you were born for. A life where you're valued, a life where you're cherished, a life where you're not just present, you're celebrated. All it takes is one courageous decision. Let them miss you. Then watch how the universe rearranges itself to honor your worth. The choice is yours. The power is yours. The future is yours. What will you do with it? There comes a moment in every life when the soul whispers a truth too powerful to ignore. You were never meant to beg for love, to negotiate your worth, or to shrink yourself into spaces that cannot contain the magnificence of who you are. This moment arrives like dawn after the longest night, illuminating truths you've always known but perhaps forgot along the way. That your presence is sacred, that your absence teaches, that your worth is not determined by who stays or goes, but by the unshakable knowing in your own heart that you are enough exactly as you are. Now, when you begin to walk in this truth, something miraculous happens. The world begins to mirror back to you what you've always known deep down, that you are not ordinary, that your light is not meant to be dimmed, that your love is not meant to be taken for granted. This is the power of letting people miss you. Not as a strategy to manipulate, but as the natural consequence of finally honoring yourself. Because here's what I've learned through every triumph and heartbreak. People only value what they risk losing. The job that never appreciated your talents until you walked away. The friendship that took your loyalty for granted until you stopped being available. The love that ignored your heart until you stopped begging to be seen. This is the alchemy of absence. It transforms how others see you, yes, but more importantly, it transforms how you see yourself. When you stop chasing what doesn't chase you back, you reclaim your power. When you stop begging for crumbs, you remember you're worthy of the whole feast. When you stop explaining your worth to people who can't see it, you finally understand that your value was never up for debate. This isn't about punishing others. It's about honoring yourself. It's about recognizing that you are not responsible for making people appreciate you, only for appreciating yourself. I want you to consider this. Every time you've allowed yourself to be treated as less than you deserve, you've reinforced the belief that you are unworthy. But every time you walk away from what doesn't honor you, you reinforce the truth that you are precious, that you are valuable, that you are someone worth missing. This is how you rewrite your story. Not by demanding that others change, but by changing what you're willing to accept. Not by convincing people of your worth, but by living as if it's undeniable. The journey of letting people miss you begins with the most radical act of all, believing in yourself more than you believe in their ability to disappoint you. It means looking at all the ways you've settled and deciding no more. It means examining every relationship where you're doing all the work and asking, what would happen if I stopped? It means considering every situation where you're undervalued and wondering, what would change if I walked away? These questions aren't about others, they're about you. They're about reclaiming the power you've given away. They're about remembering that you always have a choice. What stops most people from embracing this truth is fear. Fear that if they walk away, no one will follow. Fear that if they stop chasing, they'll be alone. Fear that their absence won't be noticed at all. But here's what I know, that fear is lying to you. The right people will always find their way back to you. The wrong ones will show you exactly why they needed to go. Either way, you win. Either way, you're creating space for what's truly meant for you. This isn't about playing games or manipulating outcomes. It's about aligning with your truth so completely that anything less than what you deserve simply cannot stay in your life. It's about becoming so grounded in your worth that you no longer tolerate what diminishes it. It's about understanding that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is nothing at all. To stop chasing, to stop explaining, to stop begging, and simply let what's meant for you find its way to you. When you begin to live this way, something shifts in the universe. People start treating you differently because you're treating yourself differently. Opportunities start coming to you because you're no longer chasing what isn't yours. Thus, love finds you in new ways because you've stopped settling for less than you deserve. This is the magic of letting people miss you. It transforms not just your relationships, but your entire life. So today, I invite you to try something radical. I invite you to stop proving your worth and start living it. To stop chasing love and start attracting it. To stop begging for a seat at tables that don't honor you and start building your own. Because here's the secret no one tells you. When you let people miss you, you give them the opportunity to rise to your level. Some will, some won't. But those who do, they'll be the ones truly worthy of you. And those who don't, they'll have done you the greatest favor of all, making space for what's meant to be. Educate yourself every day. There's a power in learning that nothing else in this world can replicate. It's the kind of power that doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you from the inside out. It reshapes the way you see the world, the way you move through it, and most importantly, the way you believe in what's possible for your life. And here's what I know for sure. Education isn't something that stops when you leave a classroom or earn a degree. Real education, the kind that lifts you, that frees you, happens every single day in the choices you make to grow, in the curiosity you nurture, in the humility to admit you don't know it all. So today, I want to talk to you about why you must commit to educating yourself every single day. Because this isn't just about memorizing facts or collecting certificates. This is about expanding your mind, your opportunities, and your spirit. This is about claiming the life you were meant to live. The world is changing, and you must change with it. Look around. The world is not the same as it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even last year. Technology evolves, industries shift, and what worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. If you're standing still, if you're relying on what you learned years ago to carry you through the rest of your life, you're already falling behind. But here's the beautiful thing. You have the power to keep up. You have the ability to learn, to adapt, to reinvent yourself as many times as you need to. Every day is a new opportunity to discover something that can alter the course of your life. A book, a conversation, a lesson from failure. Each of these is a stepping stone to your next level of greatness. Education is liberation. There's a reason why, throughout history, those in power have tried to keep knowledge from certain people, because when you know more, you are more. When you understand how things work, how money works, how systems operate, how your own mind functions, you cannot be easily controlled. You cannot be easily diminished. Every time you learn something new, You're reclaiming a piece of your freedom. Maybe it's learning how to manage your finances so no one can take advantage of you. Maybe it's studying history so you recognize the patterns of the past and don't repeat them. Maybe it's understanding your own emotions so you don't stay trapped in cycles that don't serve you. Whatever it is, education is the key to your own liberation. Small steps, big transformation. Now, I know some people here educate yourself every day and think it means hours of study, piles of textbooks, or formal courses. But that's not it. It's about intentional curiosity. It's about making a habit of learning in ways that fit into your life. Listen to a podcast while you're driving. Read 10 pages of a book before bed. Have a conversation with someone who sees the world differently than you. Ask questions, even the ones that feel silly. Watch documentaries instead of mindless television. Follow your interests, even if they don't seem practical at first. Because every piece of knowledge connects, every insight builds on the last. And don't just consume information, apply it. Let it change how you think, how you act, how you move through the world. Knowledge without action is like a seed never planted. It has potential, but it won't grow until you put it to work. The courage to be a beginner. One of the biggest obstacles to learning is the fear of not already knowing. We don't want to look foolish. We don't want to admit we're starting from zero. But here's the truth. Every expert was once a beginner. Every master was once a student. You have to give yourself permission to not know, to ask, to stumble, to try again. Because the moment you decide you're too old, too established, too anything to learn something new, is the moment you stop growing. And when you stop growing, life gets smaller. The ripple effect of your growth. When you commit to educating yourself, it doesn't just change you, it changes everything around you. Your family sees your example. Your friends are inspired by your curiosity. Your community benefits from your knowledge. You become a light that helps others find their way. Imagine if we all embraced the mindset of daily learning. Imagine the problems we could solve, the barriers we could break, the lives we could uplift. It starts with you, right here, right now. Your life is your greatest classroom. So I want you to make a promise to yourself today, a promise that you will never stop learning, that you will wake up each morning with the intention to discover something new, that you will see every experience, every success, every failure, every ordinary moment as a lesson. Because here's what I know. The more you learn, the more you realize how much there still is to know. And that's not discouraging. It's exciting. It means your journey never ends. It means your potential is limitless. Educate yourself every day. Not because you have to, but because you get to. Because your mind is a gift, and learning is how you honor it. Because the world needs the best version of you, the one who never stops growing. That version starts today. There is a power in learning that nothing else in this world can replicate. It's the kind of power that doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you from the inside out. It reshapes the way you see the world, the way you move through it, and most importantly, the way you believe in what's possible for your life. And here's what I know for sure. Education isn't something that stops when you leave a classroom or earn a degree. Real Education, the kind that lifts you, that frees you, happens every single day. In the choices you make to grow, in the curiosity you nurture, in the humility to admit you don't know it all. So today I want to talk to you about why you must commit to educating yourself every single day. Because this isn't just about memorizing facts or collecting certificates. This is about expanding your mind, your opportunities, and your spirit. This is about claiming the life you were meant to live. The world is changing, and you must change with it. Look around. The world is not the same as it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Even last year. Technology evolves, industries shift, and what worked yesterday may not work tomorrow. If you're standing still, if you're relying on what you learned years ago to carry you through the rest of your life, you're already falling behind. But here's the beautiful thing. You have the power to keep up. You have the ability to learn, to adapt, to reinvent yourself as many times as you need to. Every day is a new opportunity to discover something that can alter the course of your life. A book, a conversation, a lesson from failure. Each of these is a stepping stone to your next level of greatness. There's a reason why, throughout history, those in power have tried to keep knowledge from certain people. Because when you know more, you are more. When you understand how things work, how money works, how systems operate, how your own mind functions, you cannot be easily controlled, you cannot be easily diminished. Every time you learn something new, you're reclaiming a piece of your freedom. Maybe it's learning how to manage your finances so no one can take advantage of you. Maybe it's studying history so you recognize the patterns of the past and don't repeat them. Maybe it's understanding your own emotions so you don't stay trapped in cycles that don't serve you. Whatever it is, education is the key to your own. And don't just consume information, apply it. Let it change how you think, how you act, how you move through the world. Knowledge without action is like a seed never planted. It has potential, but it won't grow until you put it to work. One of the biggest obstacles to learning is the fear of not already knowing. We don't want to look foolish. We don't want to admit we're starting from zero. But here's the truth. Every expert was once a beginner. Every master was once a student. You have to give yourself permission to not know, to ask, to stumble, to try again. Because the moment you decide you're too old to establish to anything, to learn something new, is the moment you stop growing. And when you stop growing, life gets smaller. When you commit to educating yourself, it doesn't just change you, it changes everything around you. Your family sees your example. Your friends are inspired by your curiosity. Your community benefits from your knowledge. You become a light that helps others find their way. Imagine if we all embraced the mindset of daily learning. Imagine the problems we could solve, the barriers we could break, the lives we could uplift. It starts with you, right here, right now. So I want you to make a promise to yourself today. Promise that you will never stop learning, that you will wake up each morning with the intention to discover something new, that you will see every experience, every success, every failure, every ordinary moment as a lesson. Because here's what I know. The more you learn, the more you realize how much there still is to know. And that's not discouraging, it's exciting. It means your journey never ends. It means your potential is limitless. Educate yourself every day, not because you have to, but because you get to. because your mind is a gift and learning is how you honor it. The world needs the best version of you, the one who never stops growing, and that version starts today. Expanding your mind beyond the obvious. Learning isn't just about acquiring facts. It's about developing a mindset that sees possibility where others see dead ends. It's about training yourself to ask, what else is possible when faced with challenges? The most successful people in the world aren't necessarily the smartest or the most talented. They are the ones who remain open, who stay curious, who refuse to believe that their current knowledge is enough. Think about the last time you faced a problem that felt insurmountable. Now imagine if you had just one more piece of knowledge, one different perspective, one new strategy. How would that have changed the outcome? That's the power of continuous learning. It arms you with tools you didn't even know you needed until the moment you did. One of the biggest excuses people make is that they don't have time to learn. But here's the truth. You don't find time, you make time. Learning doesn't require hours of your day. It requires intention. 5 minutes spent reading an article while waiting in line, 15 minutes listening to an audiobook while cooking dinner, a 30-minute conversation with someone who challenges your thinking. These small moments add up, and over weeks, months, years, they transform you. The question isn't whether you have time, it's whether you're willing to prioritize growth over comfort. Because scrolling through social media, binge watching shows, or engaging in gossip won't move you forward. But choosing to learn, even in small doses, will. Some of the most profound lessons don't come from success. They come from failure. From the moments when things didn't go as planned, when you stumbled, when you had to pick yourself back up. Failure teaches resilience. It teaches humility. It strips away arrogance and forces you to reassess, to adapt, to grow. But here's the catch. Failure only becomes a teacher if you're willing to learn from it. If you can look at what went wrong and ask, what can I take from this? Instead of just feeling defeated, every mistake is a lesson in disguise. Every setback is an opportunity to refine your approach. The people who succeed aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who learn faster from their failures than others do. You are the average of the people you spend the most time with. If you surround yourself with people who never read, never explore, never challenge their own beliefs, guess what? You'll stagnate too. Or if you surround yourself with lifelong learners, people who ask questions, who seek understanding, who are excited by growth, you'll rise with them. Their curiosity will ignite yours. Their drive will inspire yours. Seek out mentors, join communities of learners, engage in discussions that stretch your thinking, because growth is contagious. The power of asking why. Children learn at an astonishing rate because they ask why constantly. But as adults, we often stop questioning. We accept things as they are because it's easier. But real learning happens when you reclaim that curiosity. When you look at the world and ask, why do things work this way? Is there a better method? What am I missing? As asking why leads to innovation. It leads to breakthrough. It leads to a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Never stop questioning. Investing in your own education is one of the highest forms of self-respect. It's saying, I matter enough to grow. My future matters enough to prepare for it. Too many people wait for someone else to teach them, to give them permission, to hand them opportunities. But the most empowered people are those who take responsibility for their own growth. who don't wait, who seek, who study, who push themselves beyond what's comfortable. There's a deep satisfaction that comes from mastering something new, whether it's a skill, a subject, or a deeper understanding of yourself. That moment when things click is priceless. And the beauty is, you don't have to master everything, just the things that matter to you. Maybe it's public speaking, maybe it's investing, maybe it's emotional intelligence, whatever it is, pursue it not just for the outcome, but for the joy of the journey. So today, I challenge you. Pick one thing to learn this week, something small but meaningful. Have a conversation with someone who knows more than you. Ask them questions. Listen. Reflect on a recent failure. What did it teach you? Replace idle time with learning. Even just 10 minutes a day adds up. Because the person you'll be a year from now depends entirely on what you choose to learn today. This is your life. This is your mind. This is your potential. Don't waste it. Grow every single day. Let me tell you about the quiet revolution that happens when you make learning a daily practice. It's not about dramatic overnight changes, though those do come, but about the subtle, powerful shifts in how you move through the world. When you commit to daily education, you begin to notice opportunities where others see obstacles. You start recognizing patterns in business, in relationships, in life that were invisible to you before. The world becomes richer, more nuanced, because you're constantly adding new lenses through which to view it. Consider this. Every skill you've ever wanted to develop, every subject you've wanted to understand, every talent you've wished to nurture, they're all within reach through consistent daily learning. The gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't as vast as it seems when you're taking steps every single day. That's the magic of compound learning. Small investments of time and attention that yield extraordinary returns over weeks, months, and years. Breaking through self-imposed limitations. So many of us walk around with invisible barriers in our minds, beliefs about what we can't do, what we're not good at, what's not for people like us. But here's what daily education does. It systematically dismantles those false limitations. When you learn something new each day, you prove to yourself again and again that growth is possible, that you're capable of more than you imagine, that your potential isn't fixed but expandable. Think about a skill you've convinced yourself you could never master. Maybe it's public speaking, or technology, or financial literacy. Now imagine approaching that skill with just 15 minutes of focused learning each day. In a month, you'd have spent 7 hours growing in that area. In a year, nearly 100 hours. That's enough to go from complete novice to genuinely competent in almost any field. The barriers we think are permanent are often just the result of not having put in consistent effort. Learning is an act of self-love. Choosing to educate yourself daily is one of the most powerful forms of self-care there is. It's saying to yourself, you matter enough to invest in. Your future is important enough to prepare for. In a world that's constantly demanding our attention for things that don't serve us, mindless scrolling, toxic entertainment, gossip, learning is choosing yourself. There's a deep dignity in this practice. When you make learning part of your daily rhythm, you're declaring that you're not content to just let life happen to you. You're taking active responsibility for your growth. You're understanding your place in the world. That's radical self-respect in action. The ripple effects of your growth. Here's something beautiful about daily learning. It never just benefits you alone. Every new insight you gain, every skill you develop, every perspective you acquire, they all flow out into your relationships, your work, your community, your growth becomes a gift you can't help but share. Imagine what happens when you bring your expanded knowledge into conversations with loved ones, when you apply your new skills to solve problems at work, when you use your deeper understanding to contribute to important causes. Your learning becomes a rising tide that lifts everyone around you. That's how we change families, communities, even societies. One person committing to daily growth at a time, learning through life's challenges. Some of our most powerful lessons don't come from books or courses. They come from life itself. The setbacks, the disappointments, the unexpected turns, these are all part of your education if you choose to see them that way. When you adopt the mindset of a lifelong learner, even difficult experiences become valuable teachers. That job you didn't get, it taught you resilience. That relationship that ended, it taught you about boundaries. That project that failed, it taught you what doesn't work. When you approach life as your classroom, nothing is wasted. Every experience contributes to your wisdom, your strength, your understanding. Creating your personal learning ecosystem, building a daily learning practice doesn't have to mean formal study. It's about creating an ecosystem around you that constantly feeds your growth. Here's what that might look like. Curating your social media feeds to include thought leaders and educators. Keeping inspiring books and podcasts within easy reach. Building relationships with people who challenge you to think differently. Developing habits of reflection to process what you're learning. Creating systems to apply and reinforce new knowledge. When you surround yourself with learning opportunities, growth becomes natural, effortless. You find yourself absorbing new ideas almost without trying because your environment is designed to support your expansion. The courage to unlearn. True education isn't just about acquiring new knowledge. It's also about having the courage to let go of what no longer serves you. Some of our most powerful breakthroughs come when we're willing to unlearn outdated beliefs, misconceptions, and limiting narratives we've carried for years. This takes particular bravery because it often means admitting we were wrong about something. But that willingness to say, I used to think this, but now I understand better, is the mark of true wisdom. Daily learning gives you the tools and the humility to continually refine your understanding of the world and your place in it. A learning as your superpower. In a world that's changing at breakneck speed, the ability to learn quickly and effectively is becoming the ultimate superpower. The people who thrive in the years ahead won't necessarily be those with the most prestigious degrees, but those who've mastered the art of continuous self-directed learning. This is your edge, your secret weapon. While others cling to outdated knowledge and resist change, you'll be adapting, growing, reinventing yourself as needed. That flexibility and curiosity will make you invaluable in any field, in any circumstance. Making it practical. Let's bring this down to earth. What does daily learning actually look like in practice? Here are some simple ways to weave it into your life. Start a Today I Learned journal where you record one new insight each day. Dedicate your commute to educational podcasts or audiobooks. Turn meals with curious friends into mini mastermind sessions. Use waiting time in lines at appointments to read articles or listen to short lessons. End each day by reflecting on what you learn and how you can apply it. The key is to make learning so integrated into your daily rhythms that it feels natural, not like an extra burden. When you do this, growth becomes automatic. Your invitation. So here's my invitation to you. Starting today, commit to learning one new thing every single day. Not someday, not when you have more time. Today, right now. Let this be the day you decide that your growth matters enough to prioritize it daily. Because here's the truth. The life you want is waiting on the other side of what you're willing to learn. The relationships you crave, the impact you want to make, the person you're meant to become, they're all accessible through the simple, powerful practice of daily education. This isn't about perfection. Some days your learning might be deep and intensive. Other days it might be a simple insight from a conversation. What matters is the commitment to keep showing up for your own growth, day after day. The world needs what you have to offer, but first you must develop it. You must nurture it. You must believe in it enough to invest in it daily. That's how ordinary people create extraordinary lives. That's how dreams become reality. That's how you become the person you are meant to be. So take that first step today, then another tomorrow, and watch as your life transforms through the quiet, consistent power of daily learning. Your future self will thank you.